Okay, let's look at how to install, or I should say how I installed my window air conditioner into my makeshift camper that I'm building out of a 6 by 10 foot trailer. So, yeah. So I'm actually filming this on a GoPro so we get a really wide stance, but also does really well in the humidity. But this is where I started, and I'm going to kind of interlace some pictures in here as well as from what I took while I was actually installing this. What I wanted to do is, in my camper here, I have a bed that I have, and then we have the understay for storage, but also the dogs actually sleep down here during our camping trips. I have 2 bunk beds in the back, and I built my window air conditioner back here. So window air conditioners, if you're not familiar with them, they're designed basically for the front section, so the section right here, to be inside the building itself, but anything behind that to actually stick outside. And that's for airflow to actually cool the condensing coil and everything. So basically it circulates room temperature, it sucks air in here through a filter that's in here and then blows it out the front here. And it separates that air from the outside air, which is just used to cool the unit so it stays efficient. So in this case, what I wanted to do was seal the unit so just the front space was inside the camper, even though the entire piece is built inside the camper, and harness the outside air just to cool the unit. So how I did that, this is the first thing I did. I actually put the exhaust in first, and I decided to exhaust out the side just so I could get a much larger vent space. This is a dual louvered, essentially it's a gable vent for a home. It's all aluminum, and then I actually painted it to match my trailer. I have a little bit of work on the seal yet. The seal just didn't come out as well as a little sloppy on the top. Everything else was great, but the top, I put a little extra sealant on it just because that's obviously where a lot of the rain's gonna come down. And I want to clean that up yet, but I haven't done that yet. But that's the side seal. This is a 12-inch by 12-inch dual louvered seal, and I'll tell you real quick, it works very, very well. Better than I anticipated, actually. But that's where you come on the intake, because that's just the exhaust. That's where the hot air is going to blow out of the air conditioner. I also angled the back side here. So essentially this is right here, and I'm actually going to lift this up so you can actually see back in here. You can see there's where the air is coming in the air conditioner, and then on the other side of this board is where it's actually blowing out. I angled it so it does shoot essentially on the side. I'm actually going to remove this so you can see that as well. And I have some pictures from when I actually built it. But I've already started taking out some of the screws because something that I'm going to change with this, not actually with the setup. This is perfect in my opinion. It works fantastic. I'm adding something to the air conditioner itself, and I'll explain that here shortly. So I actually ran power, which I'm probably going to eventually probably put in like an aluminum chase. This was just for a weekend camping trip to do a test. And that's what I ran. I have that. I actually ran over to the far side of the trailer where I installed a place where you could plug in your extension cord. So that was really easy. I just drilled a hole the size of what it needed to be. And then on the inside, I used a slim fit box. And right now the cord is just hanging down there. And of course, like I said, that's going to be something that I'm actually going to put in like a conduit so it can't be damaged. But this was just a test run. So, and I'm actually going to eventually probably put in a breaker box on this line as well. But that's coming down the road. That's not something that was right away. So what I have here, also like I said, the air intake, which is right here. This is an open space, an open cavity that actually wraps all the way around the entire unit. And so you can kind of see here, it's all one big cavity. So it shares air. This is on the air conditioner itself, there's a side, on both sides and on the top is where it actually sucks air in. This one does not actually suck in on the bottom, which is actually one of my favorite pieces about this air conditioner. It actually has a pan bottom that is actually designed to capture all the moisture that's going to drip down, and then it burns it off. So I don't have to worry about dripping. No worry about putting a little cylinder in to drip all the condensate away. It's actually going to get rid of it through the exhaust by itself. So I use these to keep the air separate, seal it down, but also to insulate the sound. I'm okay with it sucking a little bit of the air from the inside of the camper. I'm not opposed to that, but all the exhaust air I really do not want in the camper at all. I want all that hot air out of here. So how this works, let me pull this back section up. I already removed the screws here. Obviously I wanted to make it look good as well, so it's built into the camper. And I haven't removed the tape here because, like I said, I'm going to redo this anyway because I'm adding something to my air conditioner. So all this seal tape that I put on just for an extra seal, essentially. Obviously, probably worked great. It's just that I'm going to have to redo it now. I tell you what, let me grab all this stuff off. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got this removed. So you can see back here, I have the back all fully. Actually has foam sealant all the way around it, which comes with the window air conditioner. So it's sealed all the way around it, and all the hot air comes out of this, even at the slant. You can see where it actually was slanted. It all goes out the side. So where does the air come from in? Well, obviously I'm not going to pull it in from the side or the top because that's in the camper. So I went in the bottom. Now the bottom is going to have its own problems possibly down the road. However, so far it has been working great. And I used a louvered system down here too. So if I'm driving on the road, any debris is going to kind of go away from it for the most part, and it's going to suck up at an angle like that. This is I think an 8x18, or yeah, something like that. Essentially it's almost the entire size of the bottom, and when I actually pull the air conditioner out, I'll be able to show you that as well, of how that went in, because I'm going to pull the entire air conditioner out to change something. So I keep talking about changing something, and that is with window air conditioners themselves. When you turn them on, you kind of get a surge when that compressor actually kicks on. Now this air conditioner here is all front digital controls, if you saw that before. It's not the standard knob dial, it's all touch screen. You put your temperature in. When you turn it on, no matter what, it doesn't start the compressor right away. It does kind of a turn on period where from what I can understand, it's actually testing the air to see what the actual temperature is, taking its time. It takes, from what I see, about 1 to 2 minutes of just sucking the air through to see if it should turn on. So then it turns on, and when it turns on, when I run it on a generator, and I have a small, let me show you, the EU 2000i Honda, very efficient generator, very quiet. It has full power mode and eco mode. When you're on economy or eco mode, it basically runs the generator down a lot quieter, a lot lower RPMs. Is a lot more fuel efficient on that eco mode, just basically to power what it needs to power. So when you have something that kicks on, all of a sudden it'll try to ramp up to meet those needs as fast as it can. What I found in eco mode specifically, excuse me, this specific air conditioner, and I'm assuming it's because of the digital control unit, it doesn't like that. And so when it tries to turn the compressor on, it doesn't get its electricity needs met instantaneously. You can hear the generator start to ramp up, and then that thing restarts. So the cycle goes, it makes a beep, everything goes blank, comes back up, and starts over again. And so it'll run for 2 minutes, try to turn the compressor on, it doesn't meet the needs, it starts over again. If I don't have it on eco mode, everything runs fine. But the one thing I don't want to run constantly is the generator at full RPM. Obviously, if I'm camping and I don't need to run the air conditioning 24 hours a day, because it's all automatic, I want to be able to go to sleep, even though the air conditioner will kick off from time to time, knowing that it'll still come back up with running the generator in eco mode. So I decided to try something. And that something is adding what's called a super boost. Now this is just a very large capacitor that you're increasing the capacitance of the actual air conditioner itself. That's what this is built for, is single phase air conditioners. Up to, what, 120,000 BTU, 277 volts. So this is designed for this specific circumstance to reduce the surge. So relay and hard start capacitor, that's what this is designed for. Now, all air conditioners have a capacitor in there. You're adding to it, so you're not cutting wires, you're essentially just adding to it. They have just the pop-on knobs here. I'm hoping everything goes as smoothly as possible, but I have to remove that air conditioner before I can put this on there. Of course, hopefully it doesn't rain by the time that happens, but at least in this case, I can actually show you what I did in video form rather than just showing you photos of it. So I'm going to continue to pull this guy out, and as I go, I'm probably going to show you a couple more clips. So here's my air conditioner kind of torn apart. It was a lot easier than it looks. Took it off the face first, which just comprised of 4 screws and then a couple side clips. Basically, I just took a screwdriver and popped them real quick. They were easy. Then I took off the face here and found out that there is not enough room in here where the actual existing capacitor is. I was really hoping to try to get it inside here, but there's just not enough room, specifically with how much sticking out the back of the circuitry board here. So I had to go into the housing here, and then I was like, well, maybe I can get on the side here. There's just not enough space. So I have it kind of tucked in up here. I have it zip tied to one of the coolant lines here. Obviously keeping it away from the fan. But that is as best as I can get it. I was maybe hoping to get it over here, but then I just didn't know where I'd be able to attach it. And I got to keep it out of the bottom because this is obviously where condensate water is going to pool. So I got to keep it up out of that. So a few things to keep in mind. I'm going to go with this for now and see how she works, but I'm going to keep an eye on it, mainly because it is right next to the compressor. So you're going to get some vibrations from that. Then again, the whole unit vibrates anyway, so I can't see that it's a big deal. Take maybe some of the putty here. I did have to extend the lines. If you see there, the red lines, it's 16 gauge line, and that's the only 16 gauge wire I had. So I extended them because of where I had to place it. And they're sitting down here. Now I just got to get them attached down in there. So where we're going here, this is the existing capacitor here that I just brought down so I could actually see it. There's fan, there's common, and there's Herms. So we're actually connecting to the Herms and the common side. Sometimes you can have an extra flange. You can actually see the extra flange piece back here on the Herm side, but I didn't have it. They cut it off. So I had to actually quick connect one of them here to the common side, or the Herm side. And then the common side, I actually had that secondary one, the one that has the extra flange sticking out. So I removed one of these, put the new wire on, and then attach that to the other common side. So common and Herms, that's the 2 sides. Now I'm gonna put it back together. So I'm putting the unit back in now, and I wanted to show you, there's where the air intake is. So right down there, it sucks it in, and then it can circulate on both sides of the cavity all the way to the top, because obviously on this unit there's no bottom for venting, so it's all through the side and the top. And then this foam gasket I'll put back in. I'll actually squish back in between the wood and the actual unit itself. And once I get it back in, I'll seal it back up with tape. So, not the gain I was hoping for. I still can't get it to actually turn over in eco mode. However, not a loss. I know that that's gonna eventually help out just in the long term of making it last longer. So there are some good things about adding that capacitor. But that said, you win some, you lose some, I guess. Not gonna say anything bad about the product yet because I just put it in, but didn't do what I was hoping it would do. But then again, it just may be the type of that digital controller, because as soon as it ramps up, it just kills it immediately. So thanks for watching this episode of Build Your Camper. I'm getting there. I was hoping to do more of these videos earlier on, but now that I'm starting, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for turning into CampGeeks. I have another video coming soon on that guy. Spoiler, it's awesome. So thanks for tuning in. Catch you on another video here, right here on CampGeeks. See you soon.